Welcome to Talk Emma Learn English. Here, we learn English by talking, listening, and practicing together.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. We're so happy you're here learning with us today.
Wherever you're listening from, maybe at home, maybe on your way to work, welcome.
Okay, Emma, before we start, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was actually very relaxing. I watched an old movie, cleaned my apartment, and I cooked for myself.
Cooked? That's impressive. What did you make?
See? You just used did naturally.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about it.
Exactly. And that's today's topic. How to use was, did, had. 3 small words, huge confusion.
Yes, many learners mix them. They say things like, did you was there, I was go yesterday, I did went home.
And it sounds confusing, but don't worry. By the end of this episode, you will clearly understand when to use was, when to use did, when to use had, with real-life examples.
And if this podcast helps you, don't forget to like, follow, and share it with someone who's learning English.
All right, let's start slowly. First word, was. What is was? It's the past form of am and is. Present, I am happy. She is tired. Past, I was happy. She was tired.
So was is a form of to be.
Exactly. Very important. We use was to describe feelings, conditions, states, locations, not actions.
Example, yesterday I was tired. This describes my condition, not an action. So we don't say I was sleep.
Correct. We say I was sleepy or I slept. Different meaning. Now, real-life example. Yesterday was very stressful
Why?
because I was late for a meeting.
Notice something. You said, yesterday was stressful, I was late. Both describe situations, not actions.
Exactly. Now let's compare. Wrong, I was go to school. Correct, I went to school. Because go is an action. We don't use was with base verbs like that. Now, second word, did. Did is the past of do, but it has 2 important uses. 1 as a main verb, 2 as a helping verb.
This is where learners get confused.
Yes, let's simplify. First use, did as a main verb. Example, I did my homework. She did the dishes. Here, did means perform or complete. Simple.
Second use, did as a helper for questions in past tense. Example, did you go yesterday? Did she call you? So when we ask past questions, we use did.
Exactly. And notice something very important. After did, we use base verb, not past. Wrong, did you went? Did you ate? Correct, did you go? Did you eat? Because did already shows past. Let's compare conversation. Where were you yesterday?
I was at home.
What did you do?
I watched a movie.
See the difference. Were means location. Did means action. Very important difference. Now, emotional example. I was very nervous before my interview.
Did you prepare well?
Yes, I did. Notice this short response. Did you prepare? Yes, I did. We don't say, yes, I prepared in short responses normally.
So did helps in short responses too.
Exactly. Now, let's test your understanding. Sentence, I blank very excited yesterday. Correct answer? Was. I blank finish my project. Did. But not, I did finished my project. Wrong. I finished my project. Because did is only for questions and negatives when helping.
Now let's combine both in one story. Yesterday, I was very tired. Why? Because I did a lot of work. That sounds natural.
Yes. Was equals state. Did equals action. Remember this. Was equals past state. Did equals past action or helper for questions. two completely different roles. And when you understand the role, confusion disappears.
That already feels clearer.
All right, now let's go deeper. We understood was. We understood did. Now it's time for the word that confuses many learners. Had.
Yes, I think this one creates the most confusion.
It does, because had has more than one job, just like did. So let's separate it clearly. First meaning of had. Past of have, possession. Present, I have a car, she has a dog. Past, I had a car, she had a dog. Simple.
So in this case, had just means owned.
Exactly. Example. When I was younger, I had long hair. That means in the past, I possessed long hair. Let's compare. I was happy. I had money. Different meanings. Was describes your state. Had describes possession.
So I cannot say I was money.
Exactly. That's wrong. And you cannot say I had tired, because tired is a condition, not possession. Now, second use of had, and this is where things become more advanced. Past perfect. Structure, had plus past participle. Example, I had finished my homework before dinner.
So this is different from I finished.
Yes, very important difference. I finished my homework. This is simple past. I had finished my homework. This shows something happened before another past event.
Let's make it real. Yesterday, I arrived at the cinema at 8 p.m., but the movie started at 7:30 p.m. So I say, the movie had already started when I arrived. So had started happened before arrived.
Exactly. Past perfect shows order in the past. Now compare three sentences. 1. I was tired. 2. I did my homework. 3. I had finished my homework. See the difference? I was tired, condition. I did my homework, action. I had finished my homework, action completed before another past moment.
So had creates deeper time meaning.
Yes, it connects two past moments. Let's create a short emotional story. Yesterday was difficult. I was stressed. Why? Because I had forgotten about an important meeting.
Ah, that sounds natural.
Yes, notice the timeline. First, I forgot. Later, I felt stressed. So we use had forgotten to show earlier past. Now compare did versus had carefully. Learners often say, I did not finished. Wrong. Correct? I did not finish, because did needs base verb. But I had not finished. Here, finished is correct, because past participle needs past participle.
So did equals base verb. Had equals past participle.
Exactly. That's the key difference.
Let's practice correction. Wrong. When I arrived, she did left. Correct. When I arrived, she had left, because leaving happened before arriving.
Another wrong example, I had went home. Correct. I had gone home, because after had, we use past participle. Go, gone, eat, eaten, write, written.
So irregular verbs matter here.
Yes, past perfect always needs past participle form. Now let's imagine a real conversation. Why were you upset yesterday?
Because I had lost my wallet.
See the structure? Lost happened first, upset happened after, so we use had lost. Now, emotional example. When I was a child, I had a bicycle. Simple possession. But by the time I was 10, I had learned how to ride perfectly. Different meaning. First sentence, possession. Second, past perfect, completed before age 10 moment. So, same word, different job.
Yes, that's why context is everything. Let's compare all three together in one story. Yesterday was my birthday. I was very excited. My friends did something special for me. They had planned a surprise party.
That's perfect example. Yes, was feeling, did action, had planned action before another past event. Now think about your life. When was the last time you felt surprised? Maybe you can say, I was shocked because my friends had organized a surprise. Or, I was proud because I had completed my project successfully. You see how natural this becomes?
Let's talk about one more common mistake. Learners say, I was finished. That is wrong. Correct, I finished, or I had finished. Was finished is only used in passive voice. Example, the work was finished. Different meaning. So was plus past participle usually means passive.
Exactly. That's more advanced grammar. Now we will compare was versus had, did versus had, and how these words change meaning in storytelling. And we'll practice full real-life conversations. Now let's bring everything together in real conversation, because grammar becomes powerful when it tells a story.
Yes, when it's just rules, it feels heavy, but in stories, it feels natural.
Exactly. So let's imagine something real, a job interview. Interviewer: why were you interested in this position? Notice the word were. That comes from was. It describes a past feeling.
So the interviewer is asking about a past state.
Right. Now imagine your answer. I was very motivated because I had followed your company for years. See what happened? Was motivated, past feeling, had followed, action before that moment. The order becomes clear.
Now imagine this situation. You arrived late to a meeting. Your manager asks, why were you late? You say, I was late because I had missed the bus.
That makes sense. Missing happened first, being late happened after.
Yes, if you say, I was late because I missed the bus, it's still correct. But had missed makes the timeline clearer. It shows that missing the bus happened before being late.
Now let's compare did and had in storytelling. Example: yesterday I did my presentation. Simple action, but I had prepared for weeks before I did my presentation. See the difference? Had prepared, earlier past, did, main past.
So had often supports did in storytelling.
Exactly. It builds layers in the past. Now, emotional example. When I was younger, I was very shy. One day, I did something brave. But before that day, I had never spoken in front of a big group.
That's powerful.
Yes. Notice was shy, state, did something, action, had never spoken, experience before that action. All three working together.
Let's look at a common confusion. Learners sometimes say, I did not had time. Wrong. Correct, I did not have time, because did needs base verb. But I had no time. Also correct. So negative with did, base form. Negative with had, just had not or did not have.
Exactly. Two options. I did not have money. I had no money. Both correct, slightly different tone. Now let's talk about questions. Past question with did is, did you go? Did she call? Did they finish? But we don't say, did you were there? Wrong. Correct, were you there? Because was, were do not need did.
Ah, this is very important.
Yes. To be, was, were makes questions by changing position. Statement, you were happy. Question, were you happy? No did needed.
But with action verbs, you finished your homework. Question, did you finish your homework? Different pattern. So the big difference is to be, no did. Action verbs use did for questions.
Exactly. This is one of the biggest mistakes learners make. All right, now let's simplify everything. No stress, no heavy grammar words, just clarity.
We've talked about was, did, and had in many situations. Now let's lock it into your brain in the easiest way possible. Think of it like this. Was equals how I felt or how something was. Did equals what I did. Had equals what happened before or what I possessed.
3 different jobs. Not the same, never the same.
When you say it like that, it feels much easier.
Because grammar is not complicated. We just mix the roles sometimes.
Now let's talk about something emotional. Think about a mistake. Maybe you can say, I was disappointed in myself. Why? Because I did not prepare enough. And before the exam started, I had wasted a lot of time. See how powerful this becomes? You are telling time clearly. You're expressing emotion clearly.
That's fluency. Now I want you to imagine a job interview again. Interviewer: why were you absent last week? You: I was sick. Simple. Interviewer: did you see a doctor? You: yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Interviewer: had you experienced these symptoms before? You: no, I had never felt like that before. Look at that conversation. Was, did, had. All natural, all logical.
Now let's correct some final common mistakes. Wrong. I was go to school. Correct. I went to school. Wrong. Did you were happy? Correct. Were you happy? Wrong. I did not had money. Correct. I did not have money or I had no money. Wrong. I had went home. Correct. I had gone home. Remember, after did, base verb. After had, past participle. That rule alone will fix many problems.
Now let's do a full storytelling exercise. I'll tell a story slowly. Listen to how the verbs change. Yesterday was one of the most important days of my life. I was nervous when I woke up. I did not sleep well the night before. Why? Because I had prepared for months for this moment. When I arrived at the stage, I was shaking, but I did my best.
And by the time I finished my speech, I had gained so much confidence. That's natural English. No complicated grammar explanation needed. Just understanding time.
Now, something very important. Many learners overuse was. They say, I was go, I was eat, I was finish. No. Was does not work with action verbs alone, unless it is continuous. I was going, I was eating. But that's another lesson. Today, just remember was equals state.
And many learners overuse did. They say, I did went, I did saw. No, did already shows past. So after did, the verb goes back to base form. Did go. Did see.
Simple. And with had, remember 2 main uses. Possession, I had a dream. Earlier past, I had finished before you arrived. If you keep these categories separate in your mind, you will not mix them.
Now I want you to think about your own yesterday. Describe it in 3 sentences. Sentence 1 using was. Sentence 2 using did. Sentence 3 using had. Example: yesterday was tiring. I did a lot of housework. I had promised my family I would help them.
Try it. Speak it out loud. Confidence grows when you practice.
Now let's connect this to fluency. Fluent speakers don't think, is this past simple? Is this past perfect?
They think about time. What happened first? What happened next? How did I feel? If you focus on time and meaning, grammar becomes automatic.
You know what I realized?
What?
When we break grammar into real life like this, it doesn't feel scary anymore.
Exactly. English is not about memorizing rules. It's about understanding logic. And today, you understood the logic of was, did, had.
Before we finish, quick final summary. Was equals past state or feeling. Did equals past action or helper in questions and negatives. Had equals possession or action before another past action. That's it. Simple, clear, powerful.
If this episode helped you understand past tense better, make sure you follow the podcast and share it with someone who struggles with these words.
And in the comments, write one sentence with was, one sentence with did, one sentence with had. We love reading your practice.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, small grammar improvements create big confidence.
Thank you for learning with us today. See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.